Many famous artists express their thoughts about war through their art. Rubens created The Consequences of War, an allegorical depiction of 30 years' war that ravaged Europe in the 17th century. Salvador Dalí also explored the theme of war in several of his works. He created the soft constructions with boiled beans just before outbreak of Spanish Civil War. He was forced to leave Spain and sought refuge in other European countries. And there he created the burning giraffe, the piece that conveys an inevitable sense of impending disaster. Later, just before Second World War, his life also changed. And he created The Face of War, when he was forced to leave Europe and sought refuge in America. Ongoing war in Ukraine is also reflected in artworks. Because even if we didn't realize this in the beginning, our life would never be the same. And when situation so deeply affects people's life, it will certainly be reflected in art. Life in our country has changed significantly. We all have to change our habits, our lifestyle. A lot of people was forced to change their professions and join the military. My friend, an artist from Zhytomyr, who has conscripted as a soldier, described feelings, a very strange feelings on battlefield. It's a combination of doom and reconciliation. He tries to capture these feelings in his artwork later when he comes back from this war. Also, he told that his perception has changed significantly. It's become very difficult for him to appreciate any art that conveys light and positiveness. It seems incomprehensible and unimportant now. It's very difficult to explain what soldier feels on the battlefield, and it's very difficult to imagine, and it's impossible to understand it. War influenced everyone in Ukraine, and we all have to change our life. We all have to adapt to this situation. This change was also expressed in a lot of artworks, but also the war is a strong cause of stress. So for many artists, it became a pause in their creativity. It became a time for reflection and observation, a time when the need for safety and everyday concerns prevail, and circumstances force them to change their lifestyle, habits, and sometimes even location. In the first day of full-scale invasion, I temporarily moved back to my hometown, and later I moved to England. Initially, I stopped drawing, and all my projects that was started before were halted, and some of them are still unfinished. I feel them like a part of my past life, and returning to them, it seems very difficult. But we're all different. My friend, a young artist from Kiev, has been posting on Facebook since the beginning of the war a kind of diary where she numbers the days and writes about main events, her experiences and thoughts. She wrote on 800th day, she said that she sat down to draw for the first time from the full-scale invasion began. It's a take for her more than 2 years to return to this part of her life, as it did for another young artist. But luckily, we're all different, and we react in different ways. For some artists, this war became a push, a new start for their creativity. It's brought new themes and new realizations. A lot of modern artists share their creativity in social media. There we can see clear change in their art. In Instagram page of Chris Swenger, we can see that last artwork before full-scale invasion was 21st of February. She happily talks about completing a piece that she had been working on for 6 months. Later, she started posting her works much more often, and around 30 of them it's connected with theme of war. For her, this situation became a catalyst to start working in illustration full-time, not just as a hobby, and to dedicate all her free time to creativity. She can express her thoughts about this war and also share her creativity through these illustrations. This war became a new impetus for development of digital art in Ukraine. Digital art can be spread very fast, can be transformed easily, and it's much more difficult to destroy. That's why, in times of war, this is the art form that develops most quickly. Now it's normal for Ukrainian artists between another projects occasionally create patriotic or war-themed illustrations and artworks. This war, for some artists, it became a new stage in their creativity. They created a lot of work that's very important for all Ukrainians. It resonates with all Ukrainians that live in Ukraine and abroad. Illustrations so deeply influence on our worldview. The image of woman with child carrying her home on her shoulders as a backpack, or a series of illustrations, survivals in their ruined houses, surrounded by ghostly images of their lost loved ones, cannot be forgotten, because they convey not just this event, but also emotions we are experiencing now. Art is an integral part of our humanity, and artists always express their thoughts about all significant events that are happening. And also, this is happening in Ukraine now. Although we all live through this differently, but we all united by our hope for the future and our desire for peace. Thank you.